So I'm having a really hard time in my spoken word class. And it's because I hate journaling. But please don't tell Kip that, and please don't tell Emily Baker and my TA, Sonny Samuel. Hi, Sonny. And Emily. Yikes. The idea of writing my thoughts down terrifies me. This scares me for two reasons. A, if you write your thoughts down, that means someone can eventually come along and literally read your mind. Not only is that terrifying for me, that's got to be really scary for the person who's reading what I wrote. I have some pretty fucked up thoughts. And B, if you write your thoughts down on a piece of paper, then chances are that piece of paper is going to last a whole lot longer than you do, assuming that you're using archival materials. You should always be using archival materials. Once I came to deal with this dilemma, I didn't want it to hinder me from creating new work, so I thought, what if I were to create a piece of spoken word and it's just made out of sounds that I've heard? You see, I never actually wrote this poem down. It's just made up of a collection of syllables that I found. I honestly just sort of string them together and hope for the best because I have to memorize the first part in order to add on the rest. And I find it quite delightful that because I've never written this poem down, my tongue is the paper on which it is bound. And I know that that's not archival. But I can honestly say that even I don't see the need to have this poem printed out in a book you can read. And I'm serious, y'all. I pinky swear I have never written any part of this poem down. Not even the title. You can check your programs. And I don't want this promise to sound too profound, but I need you to know it is definitely not jotted down in a journal, and the text isn't saved to my phone. It's just lines of inflection that I punctuated with tone. And the hardest thing about memorizing a poem that you've never written down is... And the hardest thing about memorizing a poem that you've never written down is forgetting this line, even though you know the end is supposed to rhyme with down. So just take a second and pause. Pause some more. And then you realize that you have that extra copy behind the lids of your eyes, which brings me to the next reason why I refuse to write this poem down, is because I want it to reach you instantly. Or at least as fast as the speed of sound. Because if the speaking of words is really your art, then shouldn't it be easy to know your own thoughts by heart? And you might have noticed that in order for me to never have to write this poem down, I have to be kind of a jester. You guessed it, a clown. And have every single line and then some little cheesy rhyme in the hopes that it'll make it easier to remember as you repeat it over time. It doesn't. But the real reason why I will never write this poem down is because I don't want it to survive after I'm stuck in the ground. And if this poem never gets heard after I'm dead, well, that's good, because this poem is just a whole bunch of random things that I said.